During the last race in Charlotte, Alex Bowman initially qualified for the semifinals, making it all four of the HMS cars into the next round of the playoffs. However, just after the race, NASCAR disqualified the number 48 car of Alex Bowman, as the car was found to be under the minimum weight limit. While HMS did have a chance to appeal, they refused to do so. And the reason for not doing so is absolutely shocking and gutting for Alex Bowman. The only thing more shocking would be if you've not subscribed to NASCAR Off Track yet. We are one of the best channels on YouTube for the best and latest news on NASCAR, so don't forget to follow us by hitting that subscribe button. The decision not to appeal NASCAR's ruling came as a shock, as HMS would have absolutely done it if it was one of the other drivers, especially Kyle Larson. HMS Vice Chairman and former NASCAR Chevy driver himself, Jeff Gordon, explained the team's decision in a conversation on Sirius XM NASCAR Radio. "We simply did not give ourselves enough margin to meet the post-race requirement," Gordon said. Although unintentional, the infraction was avoidable. There was some speculation that the weight discrepancy was a result of damage when the number 48 NASCAR Chevy slammed down hard after hopping a curb during the race. In-car footage from a competitor appeared to show a piece of debris separating itself from Alex Bowman's race car, but this was not confirmed. You just look at this race in general and the amount of contact. We wanted to really inspect the car fully to see, was there enough damage? Or was there something that got dislodged from the car? Gordon said. So NASCAR was great through the whole process. You can't really inspect much of it at the racetrack, so we weren't really sure. But they took it over to the tech center, looked at it yesterday and thoroughly examined it and didn't find anything. So quite honestly, it's just one of those things where NASCAR has minimum pre-race, minimum post-race weights. And our teams, in order to just make the best performing race cars every weekend for our drivers, we know that we've got to stay as close to those minimums as possible. And in this case, the 48 car, they just cut it too loose and missed it. And so that's on us. Something definitely seems fishy here. Whenever NASCAR makes a decision against a driver or a car, the team at least makes an appeal to try whatever they can for the driver. So it is curious as to why HMS decided against. They were so close to having all four of their cars in the top 8, but now they only have 3. Dale Earnhardt Jr. also smelled something fishy in this entire scenario and decided to use some of his connections to find the real reason. Parts are falling off that car, and so parts fall off cars. They continue racing. So I'm thinking the same thing with Alex if he lost the weight on the racetrack. It's damn, they're going to appeal the hell out of this. They're going to win. Alex will get back in. No, we found out today they're not going to appeal. I was surprised too. I was not expecting that. Usually, with everything on the line, Alex championship hopes, they rest on the idea that they can somehow appeal this, and they didn't even try to appeal it. I was told there was no understanding as to how the car was light. One might have come off it. The team, hours later, they were dumbfounded, or they were still unsure as to how this could happen. I'm going to assume there was nothing significant of weight that came off the car. The car was beyond tolerance. Hendrick Motorsports, or HMS, decision not to appeal Alex Bowman's disqualification, especially given the stakes of the NASCAR Cup Series playoffs, has raised eyebrows and fueled speculation about the team's long-term plans for Bowman. In comparison, if a similar situation had occurred with a driver like Kyle Larson or even William Byron, there's little doubt HMS would have fought harder to overturn the ruling, especially considering their past aggressive stance in defending their top-tier drivers. Alex Bowman has been with HMS since 2018, and while he has had some notable successes, including winning major races and showing strong moments, his performance has been somewhat inconsistent. When paired with the other HMS drivers like Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, and William Byron, Bowman often doesn't stand out as the team's top priority, which raises the question, could HMS be looking to replace him? Several factors indicate that HMS might be preparing for a change. The decision not to appeal Bowman's disqualification from the playoffs speaks volumes. In the competitive world of NASCAR, teams often exhaust every possible avenue to ensure their drivers have the best chance of advancing. The fact that HMS chose not to pursue an appeal suggests that they might not be as invested in Bowman's long-term future with the team as they are with drivers like Larson or Elliott. While Bowman has had his moments, his performance has not consistently matched that of his teammates. Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, and William Byron have all been major players in the championship conversation, with Larson and Elliott winning championships in recent years, and Byron emerging as a consistent frontrunner. Bowman, on the other hand, has struggled with consistency, and that could be a key reason HMS may be evaluating their options. HMS is known for dedicating significant resources to their top drivers. ensuring they have the best equipment, support, and opportunities to succeed. If Bowman is seen as the weakest link in their lineup, HMS may be looking to free up resources to focus more heavily on drivers who are more likely to bring home championships. NASCAR is brimming with young talent, and with driver contracts being in flux, HMS could be exploring other drivers who might better fit the team's future plans. The rise of young drivers like Carson Hocevar and the availability of free agent veterans might prompt HMS to consider moving on from Bowman in favor of a fresh face. If Bowman's contract is nearing its end, or there are sponsorship challenges associated with keeping him, this could further incentivize HMS to explore other options. In the business-driven world of NASCAR, sponsorship plays a huge role, and if Bowman isn't bringing in the results sponsors expect, it could contribute to HMS's decision-making process. While Bowman has been a solid driver for Hendrick Motorsports, the lack of urgency in defending him during such a critical playoff moment speaks to the possible shift in HMS's priorities. This move signals that Bowman might no longer be viewed as a cornerstone of the team, and HMS could be preparing for a driver change in the near future. If Bowman is indeed on his way out, it'll be interesting to see how HMS handles this transition. Will they go after another established driver, or will they give a younger prospect a chance to drive for NASCAR's most successful team? Either way, the decision not to appeal his disqualification feels like the beginning of the end for Bowman's time at Hendrick Motorsports. The 2024 NASCAR Cup Series semifinals are set to be a highly competitive showdown, with the remaining 8 drivers representing some of the top teams in the sport. These drivers have battled through the intense rounds of the playoffs, and the stakes are even higher as they approach the round of 8, the final step before the final 4. The 8 drivers who are in the semifinals are Kyle Larson, William Byron, and Chase Elliott for HMS, Denny Hamlin and Christopher Bell for Joe Gibbs Racing, Tyler Reddick for 23XI Racing, and Ryan Blaney and Joey Logano for Penske. All 8 of these drivers are the best of the best on the current NASCAR grid, so all 8 of these drivers will have a good chance to win the Cup Series title in Phoenix in the Final 4. Alex Bowman's disqualification for not meeting the minimum weight requirements opened up the competition even more. His absence from the semifinals means that one less Hendrick Motorsports driver is in the mix, slightly reducing their dominance but still leaving 3 of their drivers in contention. The pressure will be high for the remaining contenders, knowing that only 4 drivers will move on to the final race at Phoenix. The semifinals will be a mix of strategy, skill, and endurance, and with the unpredictability of NASCAR's playoff system, it's anyone's guess which 4 drivers will be racing for the championship at Phoenix. While Alex Bowman's disqualification marks a surprising and potentially telling shift for Hendrick Motorsports, the focus now turns to the remaining drivers in the 2024 NASCAR Cup Series semifinals. With powerhouse teams like Hendrick, Joe Gibbs Racing, 23XI Racing, and Penske all represented, the battle for the final 4 spots will be nothing short of intense. HMS still holds strong with 3 cars, and their championship hopes remain alive. But Bowman's absence leaves a noticeable void. As NASCAR fans prepare for the drama and excitement ahead, the road to Phoenix is wide open, and anything can happen on the path to the championship. There's also the question of Alex Bowman's future with HMS. Given that HMS doesn't seem to care enough about whether or not Bowman remains in the playoffs, it is easy to consider that HMS is looking to kick him out. Do you think HMS is looking to get rid of Bowman in the near future? Also, who do you think will win the Cup Series championship this year? Post your thoughts in the comment section below.